Okay, so under Module 9, we will discuss the AISC requirements for the design of beams. Okay, so AISC again is the basis of the design of the National Structural Code of the Philippines. Okay, so this is American standard. Okay, so we know that under the limit state of a beam, okay, there is what we call yielding. There is what we call the lateral torsional buckling, and there is what we call the local buckling. Okay, yielding is when the whole cross section reaches yielding. Okay, so therefore, your nominal moment here is Mn is equals to your Mp. Okay, so yielding is when the time that the whole cross section yields. Okay. So next is the lateral torsional buckling may occur if there are not enough lateral bracing. Okay. Therefore, your Mn this time is less than Mp since there is a lateral torsional buckling. Also, there is local buckling may occur if the section is non-compact. Again, your nominal moment is less than your plastic moment. Okay. So there is a compression flange local buckling or a web local buckling. Okay. So under a flexure, most of the time, or under bending in steel beam, most of the time, there is a compression flange local buckling. Okay. Compression flange meaning the top beam or yung compression flange yung starting to buckle. Okay. So again, I show you this lateral torsional buckling test. Okay, so you can watch it again to visualize what is happening if you have unstable beam or not enough lateral torsional lateral bracing. Okay, so under this case, you have not enough lateral bracing. There is a twisting action again this time, and also a lateral buckling at this portion. Okay. So this time, this is what happening, or this is the free body diagram. So there is a twisting action over here, and also a lateral bracing or a lateral buckling. Sorry, a lateral buckling. Okay, so we know that LB is referred to as the unbraced length. Okay, again, the braces are either restraining the lateral movement of the compression flange or the twisting in torsion. Okay, so dapat the main purpose of your braces is to prevent this lateral torsional buckling. Okay, or to prevent this lateral movement of compression flange or the twisting in torsion. Okay, that is the main purpose of your bracing. So meaning you need to add your bracing, or you need to put your bracing in the compression flange. Okay, this one. This is where you need to put your bracing. Okay. So there is what we call bracing method for steel beam. So I just showed you last meeting the different ways to create a lateral bracing. So this time, this is a summary. So first, using this shear connection. Okay, this is a shear connection. You have a steel beam, okay, away from your monitor, and you have this steel beam that connected to your steel girders. Okay, this one, ganyan. Okay, so cross beam act as a lateral brace. Okay, so this beam act as a lateral brace of this beam. Okay, so it will prevent the lateral displacement of the girder's compression flange. Okay, so for example, you have this beam and you have cross beam across. Ito yung main beam mo. Ito yung away from your monitor. And this is your okay. So this is your beam. This is your cross beam. Okay, this one. So this beam will act as a lateral bracing to this beam. Okay, so hindi yan magpa-buckling in this direction or in this moment. Okay, so hindi yan magbabakal dito since you have here a cross beam. Okay, So another one is using a concrete slab shear connection, or this one, your shear connectors. So you have here concrete slab. You have there a what do we call this as a shear connectors, and also you have here a diagonal members. Okay, this diagonal members. Okay. If you put a lateral diagonal members in your steel beams, okay, the lateral displacement of the compression flange is prevented by this diagonal member. So typically, this diagonal members is in angle bar. Okay, so this is a typical angle bar. Okay, so for a concrete slab, if your steel beam is embedded, okay, embedded in the concrete slab, embedded, have enough shear connectors, okay, there is no unbraced length, or LB is 0. Therefore, there is no lateral torsional backlink. Okay. Note that if the bottom flange was in compression, there would be no lateral bracing provided. Okay. So kapag ang bending mo naman is nag-change yung bending mo, this one is now your compression and this one now changed to tension, there is no bracing since nag-change yung stresses. Okay? Again, the bracing should be located in the compression flange. So if this stresses interchange, there is no lateral bracing in your beam. However, in this case, you have here a lateral diagonal members. Okay. So whenever there is a change in stress, or change in stress, maybe this one is tension, this one is compression, okay, or maybe this one is compression, this one is tension. You have a what you call a lateral bracing. Okay, so you have lateral bracing on each stresses, or on each side. Okay. Another example is using a cross frame. So instead of using a typical angle, okay, you included a cross frames, okay, or a framing. Okay, so this one is beams on lateral stability. Okay, so in other words, the factors in the LTB strength is based on the unbraced length LB. Okay, and there is what we call C sub B, or CB. This is a measure of how much of the flange is at full compression within the unbraced length. Okay, this is a measurement kung gaano karami, or how much of the total flange, for example, how much of the total flange, okay, how much in the total flange has a full compression. Okay, so thus the compression flange is 100% in compression, or maybe 50% in compression. Okay, so this is your CB. Okay, the next is FY. Okay, FY and the residual stresses. This is what we call the first yielding. Okay, then we have here the beam section properties, the polar moment of inertia, your C sub W, your radius of gyration in y-axis, your section modulus in x, and your plastic modulus in x. Okay, so again, the flexural strength of beams are divided into three. Maybe that is based on yielding, based on lateral torsional buckling, or based on local buckling. Again, in beams, most of the times the flange is buckle under bendings or under flexure. Okay, so that is why yung local buckling natin is only flange. Okay. So this is the three cases that we need to solve in order for us to determine the strength of our steel beams. Okay. So the formulas, okay, if you check the AISC section F2, Okay, the AISC section F. Okay, and you check AIS equation F2-1 to F2-4. Okay, F2-1 up to F2 dash up to F2-6. Okay, or 8B. So under yielding limit state, so meaning you have stable beams. Okay, the nominal moment is equals to the plastic moment. Very straightforward or very easy to solve. So that is why we are recommending, as a structural engineer, we are recommending that your beam should be should have enough lateral bracing, and your in your beam is compact. Okay, so this is the recommendation to maximize the strength or to maximize the full potential of your beam. So there is enough lateral bracing and your beam is compact. However, if not permitted to have a compact section based on architectural requirements, okay, maybe based on architectural requirements, your depth is restricted to, let's say, a certain depth. Okay, based on architectural requirements, your depth is restricted to a certain depth. Okay, so you have no choice but to choose a section that is passing the strength requirements. Okay, or maybe your section is passing the strength requirements but non-compact. Okay, so also due to architectural requirements, you cannot put a lateral bracing. Okay, you cannot put a lateral bracing in your beams because that will be a hindrance to the design of the building. Okay, maybe there is no ceiling in the building and you cannot put a lateral bracing in your frame because hindi siya maganda tingnan. Okay, so that is the case. You need to check this lateral torsional backling or maybe a local backling. Okay, so now, for example, you have no choice but to pick or to choose a beam that is not stable. There is still a way to compromise the strength requirements. So for there is enough lateral stability, your LTB does not apply. This is the first case. Okay, so if there is enough lateral stability, this is your equation. However, if your LB or your unbraced length is within this limit L sub P and L sub R, okay, your moment, nominal capacity, will decrease to this equation. So that is less than MP and will be decreased by this equation, this factor. Okay, so your CBMP minus this one, your CB times a factor of this one. So this is a factor based on LB, LP, LR. Okay, and this is what we call the 0.7 FYSX. Okay, this 0.7 FYFX, if you want to know what is this 0.7 FYSX, this is what we call the residual stresses. Okay, this is the residual stresses. So that is why you will see 0.7 FY in most of the formulas. Okay, so that is this 0.7 FY. Okay, this one. So that 0.7 FY is a residual stresses due to lateral torsional backling. Okay. Okay, so this time, your MP will decrease by a factor of LB, LP, and LR and the residual stresses. Okay, therefore, your nominal moment MP will be decreased by this residual stresses, 0.7 FY multiplied by SX or residual moment. Okay, then you have here, you can see you have here a value of C sub B. Again, this C sub B is a measurement of how much in compression is your lateral unbraced length, or your unbraced, your LB. This one is the measure of how much, maybe 100% or 50%. Okay, maybe this one. Okay, so as you can see, that is still less than MP. Okay. Another case is when your LB, or your unbraced length, is greater than what we call the limit L sub R. Okay, so therefore your formula is nominal capacity is equal to FCR times SX. So very easy to solve. Okay, basta alam mo lang yung FCR. Okay, so yun yung critical stress. Okay. So for this, for bendings, the critical stress FCR is not the same to the Euler's critical buckling stress. Okay, that is not the same. So this time, the formula for FCR is given by equation F2-4. Okay, so this equation F2-4. So this equation F2-4 is given by this formula. So that is CB multiplied by pi squared times E over the ratio of LB and RTS squared multiplied by the square root of 1 plus 0.078 J polar moment of inertia times C over SX times HO multiplied by LB over RTS squared. Okay, this is your formula. Okay, so whereas your C sub B is a factor to account for non-uniform bending. So we will discuss the formula for C sub B, or what are the values of C sub B. Okay, this is again the measurement of how much of the flange is at full compression. Okay, your RTS squared, this one, is square root of IWCW over SX. So don't worry, this is a properties of a steel section. Given yan in the book or in the handout of steel sections. Okay, your C is equals to 1.0 for doubly symmetric I shapes. Okay, don't worry, most of the time in the problem, you will choose a doubly symmetric I shapes. Okay, meaning you have a symmetric in x-axis and you have a symmetric in y-axis. Okay, however, if not, the formula is HO over 2 square root of IY over CW, whereas your HO is the distance between the flange centroid, which is D minus DF. Okay, then your LR. Okay, so your LR and LP. Okay, your LR and LP, so that is your limits. Okay, LR and LP is given by this equation. Okay, equation F2-6. So 1.95 RTS E over 0.7 FY square root of J times C over SX HO plus the square root of J times C over SX HO squared plus 6.76 multiplied by 0.7 FY over modulus of elasticity E squared. Okay, and your LP is 1.76 RY square root of E over FY, whereas your RY is the radius of gyration in the y-axis. Okay, so again, no need to worry. This is given. This is given in AISC 15th edition manual. So I will show you saan natin ito makikita. Okay, I will show you later where you will get this ILR and LP. Okay, so next is the manual computation of C sub B. Again, this is your factor to account for non-uniform bending. Okay, your C sub B is given by this equation F1-1. Okay, if the moment with the unbraced length LB is uniform, therefore there is a constant, there is no moment gradient. Okay, again, this C sub B is what we call moment gradient. Okay, as you all know, based on strength of materials, okay, the stresses in the section is based on the bending or the flexure. Okay, so for example, I have here a section. Okay, I have here a section. Maybe meron ba akong okay, maybe I have here a section, let's say a square section, and the centroids is this one. Okay, the elastic neutral axis. Okay. So if I apply a bending, let's say we have a bending this one. So basically this is the pin. I try to bend it here and here. So I have here. So you have a smiley shape. Okay. So to locate your neutral axis, that is this one. Okay. So if you check the fiber in here, okay, if you check the fibers, you have here a compression fiber. Okay, the fiber of your section. Then under the neutral axis, you have here a tension fibers. Okay, so that is why this one is in compression and this one is in tension. Okay, so the formula is for the moment gradient is given by this equation: 12.5 m max over 2.5 m max plus 3 times m sub a plus 4 times m sub b plus 3 times m sub c. Okay, again, your CB is equals to 1.0 if there is a moment gradient. Okay, so if there is no moment, sorry. So there is a no. If there is no moment gradient, your CB is 1.0. Okay. So what is Mmax? What is MA? What is MB and MC? Mmax is the absolute maximum moment, okay, within the unbraced length. M sub A is the value of the moment at the quarter point of the unbraced length. Your MB is the midpoint of the unbraced length, the moment at the midpoint of your unbraced length. Your M sub C is the absolute value of the moment at the third quarter point. Okay, and your C sub B is given by this one. Okay, so if you have perfectly symmetric shape, so for example, your moment diagram is this one. Okay, this is your moment diagram. Okay, so if that is your moment diagram, on each quarter point, okay, on each quarter point, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is your MA, this is your MB, this is your MC, and your Mmax. Your Mmax is equals to MA, is equals to MB, is equals to MC, is equals to M. So if you try to solve for this one, you have here a CB of 1.0. Okay, so that is the moment gradient. So how are we going to manually determine the moment gradient C sub B? Okay, I have here an example. Determine the moment gradient for a uniformly loaded, simply supported double shape with a lateral support at its ends. Okay, so meaning I have here a simply supported beam with simple supports with uniformly distributed load. Okay, based on your statics of rigid bodies, what is the maximum moment? Your Mmax is WL squared over 8. I think you know what is the maximum moment of a simple beam. This one, that is WL squared over 8. So if this is our unbraced length, this is the total unbraced length L sub B. Okay, therefore, dividing it to quarter points, okay, dividing it into quarter points. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. this is your MA, this is your MB, this is your MC. We all know that the maximum moment occurs at the center. Therefore, your MB is equals to your Mmax. That is why we have here. Okay? And to determine M sub A or M sub C, okay, M sub A and M sub C, due to symmetry, you have the same value for M sub A and M sub C. So you all know what is the this is the okay, this is your moment diagram, MA and MC. Okay, so to determine MA and MC, just simply use your statics of rigid bodies. This one. Just cut the section over here. Okay, cut the section in your MA and just simply take the moment at this point. Okay, so the free body diagram, so we all know that the reaction is WL over 2. Okay, so WL over 2. Okay, you have here your MA. Then you have here the distance L over 4. Okay, therefore your MA is equals to WL over 2 times L over 4. Then this W, so minus the W times L over 4. This is your the forces in this one. Okay, sorry, this is the force in this one. Then the centroidal distance is now equal to L over 8. Okay, therefore solving for MA, you have here okay, try natin. That is WL squared over 8 minus WL squared over 32. Right? 8 times 4 is 32. So 1 over 8 minus 1 over 32, that is 3 over 32. So therefore, this MA is equals to 3 over 32 WL squared. Okay, so factoring out WL squared, since MA and BMNC is have a variable WL squared, so you can factor that out. So that is why you have your Mmax to be 1/8. Okay, your MA is 3 over 32, your MC is 3 over 32, and your MB is 1/8. Okay, therefore, the CB value is 1.14. Okay, so there is a tabulated common values of moment gradient based on the support conditions. Okay, so this is what we solve. Okay, you have here and brace length equals to L. Okay, and also a simply supported beams with lateral bracing at the midpoint. Therefore, your unbraced length is L over 2. This is the length, whereas you have no bracing. And the moment gradient is 1.3. Okay, a simply supported beam with unbraced length equals to L, okay, meaning you have only a bracing here and here. Okay, therefore, you have here LB is equals to L, your CB is equals to 1.32. The same with this one. You have here supports lateral bracing, which is 1.67. Okay, if you have moments and unbraced length of L, which is CB is equals to 2.27. Also, you have here a quarter lateral bracing with a quarter concentric load. This is your CB. Okay, and this is also your CB. Okay, so this is a common gradient values. Okay, next is the solution for the strength of beams based on lateral stability by comparing the LB of the unbraced length. Okay, so if you compare the LB, if you compare your LB, okay, so if your LB is less than LP, meaning your LB is somewhere in this area. Okay, LB is less than LP, this area. and this area, this region. That is what we call the plastic lateral torsional buckling. So as you can see, the moments are always empty. Moments are always empty. Okay. Next, if your LB is within LP and LR, your moments, your nominal moment is decreasing. This one. Okay, this is what we call the inelastic lateral torsional buckling. That is the inelastic region. So this is where your formula is this one. Your LB is between LP and LR. Okay. Then if your LB, okay, if your LB is within this region, your LB, okay, your LB is within this region. This is what we call the elastic lateral torsional buckling. Okay, and your your nominal capacity is decreasing. As you can see, you have here a decreasing value. Okay, so therefore, if you have a very large unbraced length or a very long unbraced length, okay, your nominal capacity is decreasing as compared to if you have enough lateral bracing. Okay, this one. Next limit states is the flange local buckling. Again, this is based on the compactness of the shapes of the steel section that we are choosing. Okay, that we are using in our design. Okay, so this one, if the shape of a non-compact section because of the flange, okay, the nominal strength will be the smaller of the strengths corresponding to the flange local buckling and the lateral torsional buckling. Okay, so if your lambda is less than lambda sub p, there is no flange local buckling. If your lambda is between LP and LR, there is a flange local buckling, and the nominal moment capacity is given by this equation. Okay, this equation. So as you can see, this is similar. This is similar to this one. Okay, this is similar to this one. This one, MP minus MP 0.7 FYSX. Then this LP is changed to lambda. Okay, you have here lambda. Okay, and there is no moment gradient CV. So as you can see, you have here lambda minus lambda sub p over lambda sub r lambda sub p. Okay, so during our time in the board exam where we need to memorize all the formulas, okay, so during the board exam there is no formula card. However, some problems given yung mga formulas in the questionnaires. Okay, so for you to be prepared, so ginawa namin, nagsaulo kami na ganito. So napansin namin there is a similarity in this equation. So just use LB and make it as lambda. Okay, LP is make it as lambda sub p. LR make it as lambda sub r. Okay, so that is this one. Okay, and also you have here the residual stress, residual moment 0.7 FYSX. Okay, so what is lambda sub p and lambda sub r? So again, this is only the flange. So you only need to check unstiffened elements. Okay, so for lambda sub p, you have your 0.38 square root of e over fy 1.0, 1.06, 5.7. Okay, this is for the flange or the unstiffened elements, and this is for the web. You have here the stiffened elements. Okay, so for completeness of your solution, okay, for the completeness of your solution, so please check in compactness in the flange and in the web. Okay, So for the completeness of your solution. So in general, in our summary of what we discussed, if the orientation of the beam has enough lateral stability and has a compact section, okay, the only limit state is yielding. If the beam has not enough stability but has a compact section, we need to check LTB or yielding. So if the beam has non-compact section and also non-compact and also not enough, okay, non-compact na siya, then not enough stability, I need to check LTB, flange local buckling, and yielding. So LTB, flange local buckling, and yielding. Okay, and in ASD, this should be MA. I always forgot. MA, MN. Okay, MA, MN, 1.67. MU, MN multiplied by 1.9. Okay, this is the design philosophy. Okay. So do you have questions before we go for example problems?
Sir?
Yes.
Yung sa CV, sir, pwede po kaya pag naka-overhang siya, paano po ganun?
Okay, the same concept. If you have an overhang or a cantilever beam, okay. For example, this one. What is the unbraced length? The first thing to do is to determine what is the unbraced length. So maybe you have bracing at this location only. So therefore, your unbraced length is this one. Okay. So again, by definition of CB, you need to divide the unbraced length into quarter points. So this should be MA. Okay. So this should be your MA, your MB, MC. Then find the moment in MA, find the moment in MB, and find the moment in MC. Then also for Mmax, as you all know, if a cantilever, the maximum moment is always at this point. Okay, at this point. So this will be your Mmax. Okay, so the same. Just go back to the definition of C sub B. This one, the definition of C sub B. Mmax, Mmax, MA, MX. Okay, so any more questions? Nasagot ko ba yung tanong mo?
I mean, sir, paano po sabi? Parang ano po siya, simple supported po, pero yung
Simple support.
MB po is naka-overhang po ba? Parang ganun po.
Okay, this one.
Yan, ganyan po sir, yan.
Okay.
Paano po i-distribute yung yung overhang po?
Okay, ganun pa rin. If you are considering this whole beam, okay, ang consider mo ito yung whole beam lahat. Yan ba yung whole beam mo? Or maybe ang gagawin mo, ito lang yung beam mo. This is your beam 1 and this is your beam 2. So, different design. Okay. So, just ask, what is your LB? Kung ang aking unbraced length is, maybe I only put a lateral bracing at this location, a lateral bracing on this location. So, this is my LB, LB1, and this is my LB2. Assuming this is whole beam. Okay, assuming this is my whole beam. This one. Assuming this is my whole beam. Okay, this is my whole beam. So therefore, my unbraced length is LB1 and LB2. Again, the unbraced length is the maximum unbraced length or max unbraced length. Okay, meaning kung saan yung may pinakamalaking unbraced length, doon unang magkakaroon ng lateral torsional buckling. Okay, so I will analyze the moments in LB1. Okay, I will analyze the moments here. However, ang pag-analyze ng moment is i-consider ko to. So maybe the, let's say I have here uniformly distributed load. So as you all know, the moment in the moment diagram is somewhat equal to there is an increase and this one. Okay, so this is the moment diagram for this type of problem. So I will determine what is Mmax, what is MA, MB, and MC. Okay, nasagot ko ba?
Opo, sir. Opo.
Okay. So any clarifications? Okay, sige. Let's move on to example problem. So number one, example, the first example problem is what if we have a continuous lateral support and our beam is compact? So ito yung pinaka best case in your design. There is a lateral support and there is a compact section. Okay, so the beam shown in this figure is a simply supported beam using a W16 by 31 A992 steel. So it supports a reinforced concrete slabs, okay, that provides continuous lateral support. So what can you say about this one? What can you say? Ibig sabihin, maybe the construction is using a shear connectors and or embedded yung concrete. Okay, just to make sure that you have a continuous lateral support. Therefore, your LB is continuous. There is enough bracing all throughout the length. So therefore, your LB is equals to 0. Okay, there is no unbraced length in your beam. Okay. The service load or the service dead load is 450 pounds per feet. This load is superimposed on the beam. It does not include the weight of the beam itself. Okay, take note. This 450, you don't have the weight of the beam. And a service live load of 550. So the question is, does this beam have adequate moment strength? Okay. So the WD or the weight in dead load, service dead load is 450. Okay, not excluded beam weight. Beam weight. Then this is your live load. Okay. The total length of your beam is 30 feet. Okay. So checking the properties of W16 by 31. This is the properties of W16 by 31. Okay. So again, what is the meaning of W16 by 31? You have a W shape with 16 inches depth and a 31 pounds per foot unit weight. So therefore, your self weight or the weight of the beam is equals to 31 pounds per feet. Okay. So again, since it supports concrete slabs, the beam has enough lateral stability because of the embedment to concrete. Therefore, LB is equals to 0. You can check module 8. Okay, so 16 by 31. So assuming hindi pa natin alam, we don't know if our section is compact. Okay, we don't know if our section is compact. So we need to check the compactness of shape. So checking the compactness of shape, if you go back this one, BF to TF, H over TW, checking this one. Okay, so this is our lambda. This will be our lambda for the flange. And this will be the lambda, okay, H over TW. Okay, you don't have H over TW. So BF over 2TF, 0.66.28. Compare it to lambda R. Okay, lambda R first. Okay, this one, this lambda P. Okay, compare it to lambda P first. Okay, so since that is 9.15, that is already lambda is less than lambda P. Okay, So therefore, that is compact. Okay. Next is checking the width to thickness ratio of the web, H over TW. So if you check the H over TW and compare it to 3.76 lambda P, 3.7 squared to P over Fy, the web is compact. Okay. So there is comments or commentary in the ASE manual. Okay. The web is compact for all shapes in the manual for Fy which is less than 265 KSI. Therefore, no need to solve for the webs if you have an Fy that is less than 65 KSI. Okay? Take note for all shapes. Ibig sabihin, hindi kasama dito ang built-up section. The built-up sections is not included in this comments. Okay? So this shape can also be identified as compact because there is no footnote in the dimension and properties tables to indicate otherwise. So therefore, since the web is compact and the flange is compact, therefore the whole cross section is compact. There's no flange local buckling, no lateral torsional buckling because you have enough stability. So what you have left is yielding. So meaning, nare-reach ni beam yung yielding limit state. So if you recall the formula for yielding, Mn is equals to Mp Fy times Zx. The plastic modulus Zx is given by 54 inches cube. You have here 2,700 kips inch, divided it to 12. So 27 divided by 12, you have here 225 feet kips. Okay, so what is this 225 feet kips? This is the nominal capacity. This is nominal capacity. Okay, the question, the problem is what is the adequacy of the beam? So we need to check the demand load. Okay. So compute the maximum bending moment. So the total service dead load including the beam weight is 481. So W16 by 31, you need to add 31 pounds per feet in the total dead load. You have here 481 pounds per feet dead load. Okay. Then if we go to table 3-23, basically the moment, the maximum moment for a simply supported beam, you have here WL squared over 8. Okay, so just simply add the maximum moment due to dead load and the maximum moment due to live load. Okay, so again, this is service. So 481 pounds per feet. As a conversion, please take note of this conversion. Okay, 1,000 pounds force is equals to 1 kips. Okay, 1,000 pound force is equals to 1 kips. So that is why you have here 0.481, okay, and 0.55. Okay, you have here 0.481 and 0.55. Okay, then solving, you have here 54.11 feet kips, 61.88 feet kips. Okay, you are using an L which is already in feet. Okay, which is already in feet. That is why your units is kips and feet. Okay, so this is a practice for you para maging familiar kayo sa mga units, hindi lang sa ibang units. Okay, mas mapapractice kayo for different units, sa mga conversion kapag syempre tinatry nyo. Okay. So hindi lang naman siya English system yung maraming conversion. So maybe in geotechnical engineering, marami rin siyang conversions. So this is a practice for you in the board exam also. Okay, so the service dead load moment is 54.11 feet kips, and the service live load moment is 61.88 feet kips. Okay, so 54.11 and 61.88, this is the MD, this is ML. So recall the load combo for LRFD solution. So the LRFD solution is 1.4 dead load or 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live load. Since I only have dead load and live load. So obviously, this is the governing load combo. This will give you the maximum demand moment or demand load. Okay, so we'll be using this load combination. So 1.2 dead load, 1.6 live load. You have your 164 feet kips. So alternatively, you can use this this way. You can use this way. So dito dumaan tayo sa moment. So maybe you can use this solution. Idaan nyo naman sa WU. Pwede rin to. So 1.2 WDL plus 1.6 WLL. Then MU is equals to WUL squared over 8. Naka-ultimate na to. So maybe you can use this solution. Okay, you will also arrive to this answer. Okay, so now comparing the demand to the capacity. Okay, again, the concept of structural engineering is to compare the concept of strength-based design is to compare the design moment and to the capacity or the demand load to the capacity. So doon lang naglalaro yun, di ba? DCR. So that is why I will always ask what is the DCR or the demand capacity ratio. Okay. So this is the demand 164 and the capacity is 225. So the demand is 164, the capacity is 225. Okay, 225 times 0.9. Since you are using LRFD, this is only the nominal moment. Okay. So you will multiply it to 0.9. That is why you have here 203 feet kips. Okay, which is okay. Therefore, W16 by 31 is satisfactory. Okay. So do you have clarifications? Wala naman for LRFD. Okay. For ASD, the same approach. Find the demand. So in ASD, just simply add the two. Add the service dead load, add the service live load. So 54 plus 61.88, you have here 116. Okay, this is an alternate solution. You can check this out. Okay, so this is the demand load is equals to, okay, the demand is equals to 116. Okay, then the capacity. So you are using this factor safety 1.67. That is also equal to 0.6. Okay, napakita ko na sa inyo, 1 over 1.67 is 0.599. Okay, or that is why you have 0.6. Okay, so you have here 135. So comparing the demand to capacity, mas malaki yung capacity, therefore, okay. Okay. So in your exam, I will always ask what is the demand capacity ratio. For this one, the demand capacity ratio is 164 divided by 203. This is the demand, this is the capacity. For this one, for ASD, the demand capacity ratio is 116, 135. Okay, so that is how you solve for this problem. Okay, so there is another solution. There is another way of solving for the adequacy of the section. Okay, using the table 3-10 of the AISC. Okay, so that is why I'm using AISC because AISC has a complete manual. Okay, in NSCP you don't have this manual. Okay, so this is a table that is very useful in the industry. Okay, so checking the table 3-10 of the AISC. your Fy is 50 KSI. Your CB value is 1. So you will find your W shapes. Okay, find the W shape, which is W16 by 31. This is my W shape. So I will find my W16 by 31 in this graph. So I find my W16 by 31, which is this graph. This is W16 by 31. This one. Okay. So if I zoom this out or zoom in this area, I have here this one. Okay. Take note, my LB is 0. My LB is 0. So this is LB. This x-axis is LB. So LB is 0 is this line. This line. Okay. So W16 by 31 is this point. Okay, this line. Okay. So using LRFD, my load is 203 and my ASD is 135. Okay, 135. So this is how many lines? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So meaning your ASD is every line is 1 kips per feet. Okay. In ASD, every line is 2. Every line is 2. Okay. So every line is 2. So this is 200, 200, 200, 202, 204. This should be 204. Okay, which is almost equal to what we solved. Okay, so ang na-solve natin is 203. They are the same. Almost the same. Okay, and for ASD, which is 135, which is also equal to 135. Okay, so this is a very useful design table in ASD. So example 2, still have time. Okay, for example 2, compact shapes with not enough lateral support. Okay, so determine the flexural strength of W14 by 68 of A242 steel. Continuous lateral support, an unbraced length of 20 with CB equals to 1.0, an unbraced length of 30 with CB equals to 1.0. Okay, so getting the dimension and properties of W14 by 68 is you have this one. So I will give you the properties. So this one is the properties needed for the formula. If you go back, compact shape with not enough lateral support. If you go back to the formulas, napakarami, di ba? Saan ba yun? This one. You have here a formula. J, C, S, X, H, O, okay? LB, LP, LR, LP, what is F, SX, yung mga formula, mga properties na kailangan natin. So, getting all the properties that is needed. Okay. So, the properties needed is this one, 3.01, 2.8, or 2.799 to be exact. Your SX is 103. Your HO is 13.3 or 13.28 to be exact. So, lahat yan makikita nyo dito. You have here J, which is 3.01, this one. RTS is 2.8 or to be exact, 2.799. SX is this one. Axis and x-axis, 103. Your HO is 13.3. This one, 13.3. And 13.28 to be exact. Okay, so the solution, okay, checking if our section is compact. Take note that A242 steel has a yield strength of 50 KSI. Okay, so checking the flange. Okay, so since your lambda is less than lambda sub R, therefore the flange is compact. Again, due to the footnote or commentary, if you have Fy less than 65 KSI for all shapes, okay, meaning no, that is that is not a built-up section. Okay, therefore, your web is compact. No need to solve. Okay. Since the flange is compact and the web is compact, therefore the whole section is compact. Okay. So problem 1, problem A. There is continuous lateral support. Therefore, your LB is equals to 0. So therefore, since LTB, okay, no LTB, no flange local backlink because you have compact shape. Therefore, the only limit state is yielding, which is equal to MP Fy Zx. So that is very straightforward. Fy Zx divided by 12, you have here. Okay. Next is letter B. What if your LB is 20 feet? Your CB is assumed to be 1.0. So first, we need to determine LB and LR. Okay? So di ba kailangan natin malaman? So yung compactness, tanggal na. No flange local backlink. LTB na lang yung natitira. LTB and yielding. So for LTB, we need to check LP and LR to compare our LP, di ba? So to solve for LP, which is this one, 1.76 RY square root of EF for FY, basically that is 104.3. Divide it by inches, divided by 12 to be in inches, to be in feet, you have here 8.692. Okay. Next is solve for LR. To solve for LR is this one. Okay, oops. To solve for LR is this one. So you have a very long computation. So for your own curiosity, you can check this computation. Okay. So I have here all the notes. Okay, and however, for the class, no need to solve for LB and LR since the ASC manual gives the values of LB and LR based on the section. So I will give you this one. This one. So W14 by 68, you have here LB and LR. Meron ka ng LB and LR. So which is the same if you compute it manually or check it by the table. Okay, since your LB is greater than LP but less than LR, which is this one, take note that our LR is 29.28. Okay, so that is within your LB. Therefore, the formula is this one. Okay, so 1.0, 5750. Take note, class, take note that your MP should be in kips inches. Okay, take note of this one. Your MP should be kips inches or the same dapat sila ng units. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, your FYZX, FY is KSI, your ZX is inches. So kips inches dapat yan ha. Okay, again, this is, maraming nagkakamali dito. Okay, most of the times, there is an error in solving for MN. Please always take note that this MP should be in kips inches. Okay, so this one. So 5750 kips inches. Okay, that is what we solve for this one. This is 5750. Okay, MP FYCX. Okay, 5750.7 times 50 times 103. 20 minus 0.8692, 29.8692. You have here the value 4572 kips inch, 381 feet kips. Your MP is 479.2. Okay. So since your MN is less than MP, therefore we need to choose MN. This one, 381. So ito yung MP natin. So therefore, the nominal moment capacity for LB equals 20 feet is this one, 381 feet cubes. Okay, so next is using this third case when your LB is 30 feet. So since your LB now is 30 feet, that is greater than LR, that is under elastic lateral torsional buckling. Okay, yung pinakita kong graph kanina. So the formula is given by this one. CB pi squared E LB over RTS. Basically the value of this one. So the properties needed, hiniwalay ko siya kanina. That is J, your RTS, your SX, and HO. Okay, your C is always taken equal to 0, to 1.0. This is the value of C. Okay. So you have here this one. So take note class that your LB should be in inches. Kasi yung RTS mo is in inches. This is in inches. Therefore, your LB should be in inches. Inches. Okay, so 1.0 pi square, 29,000 KSI for the modulus of elasticity of steel. Okay, 30 times 12 over 2.799 square. Over the value 33.9 KSI. Solving, going back to the nominal capacity, FCRSX, you have your 3492 inches skips. Okay, this is your FCR. Okay, SX is 103. You have here 291 feet kips, which is less than MP. Okay. Kung napansin nyo, lahat sila less than MP since there is a lateral torsional buckling and the plastic moment is the nominal moment is decreases. Okay, and last example is non-compact with continuous lateral support. So for this time, you have here non-compact section. Okay, I have, wait, lobat na. Okay, so for example 3, W21 by 48 is used as simply supported. Okay, uniformly loaded beam with a span length of 50 feet and a continuous lateral support. Okay, since you have a continuous lateral support, your LB is equal to 0. Therefore, no lateral torsional buckling. So, natitira na lang yielding and FLB. Okay, so determine the nominal flexural strength, check yielding, LTB, and FLB. Okay, so based on yielding limit state, you have here 535 feet kips. So basically, just check the properties of W21 by 48. Okay, the properties of W21 by 48. Your ZX is 107. Okay. So you have here this one. So inches cube. Sorry, this should be inches cube. Okay. So basically, Fy times Zx, you have here 535 feet cubes. So based on lateral torsional buckling limit state, since the beam has a continuous lateral support, LB is equal to 0, therefore your LTBA will not occur. So based on the flange local buckling limit state, FLB, check your lambda of for the flange. So for the flange, lambda is 9.47, lambda P, lambda R. Compare, your flange is non-compact. Since your flange is non-compact, your formula will now be equal to this one. MP minus MP minus 0.7 FYSX multiplied by this ratio. Okay, take note again that your MP should be in feet, kips inch. Okay, So that is why you have your 6420, 6420, 0.7 FYSX, this ratio, and this answer 6214.1 inches skips. So divide it by 12, you have your 517.8 kips. Okay. Diba naalala nyo when you are dealing with multiple values of capacity in the design of tension members? So we will always choose the minimum value or the lowest value of the capacity. That will be the capacity. Meaning that limit state will occur first. Okay, that limit state will occur first. So therefore, if we compare the yielding and flange local buckling, so flange local buckling is 517. The yielding is 535. Therefore, what will happen first is FLB. Okay, therefore, you have here 517.8 kips to be your nominal strength. Okay, so the whole scenario in this example, in this example 3, okay, the beam will not experience LTB, and the first limit state that will happen to the beam is FLB. Loading further, if loading further of the beam, loading further to the beam, your still beam will yields. Okay, so for the user guide by the AISE, okay, you can always check this one. Okay, so if you have this section on limit state is this one, kapag compact, non-compact, slender, this is your limit state. Okay, so you have here your user guide. So if you're maybe someday you want to be a structural engineer and check what limit state you need to check in your section, you can always go to this table user note. Okay, so any more questions before we end this meeting? Okay, okay, sige. I will upload right after this meeting the recording of this section. Okay, so we don't have time. Okay, sige. Maybe next meeting on Monday, we'll discuss this AISC requirements for beam and shear deflections. Okay, so for your further studies, your reading assignment, so please check the still design by Segi. So this reference has a lot of practice problems. Okay, para makapag easy flowing yung design and analysis nyo during the exam. Okay, so sige, that's it class for today, and thank you for listening.